All right, so this is a story that we're now getting you from Jammu airport. It's clear at this point that the people at the airport came together to give a standing applause for our forces. The CRPF personnel you see on your screens entered the Jammu airport, and every single passenger present in the airport stood up to give them a standing ovation, to recognize this sacrifice for the nation, to recognize really the work that they do to ensure that our valley is safe for Kashmiris, for the locals. In fact, there was such a thunderous applause till every single personnel moved really from that terminal into their aircraft. The CRPF has posted about this also on social media, thanking the people for their support, thanking them for really boosting the morale of our forces. These kind of small gestures is the least that every Indian can do, and all of them standing up and giving them an ovation, a fitting ovation and applause for their contribution to the nation. You see all the passengers there proudly smiling on and egging on our forces. This happened at the Jammu airport, where the personnel entered to this thunderous applause. I want to go across to Ankush for more details on this. Ankush, this is great to see. This is the kind of tribute that each one of us can do to our forces who put their lives at risk every single day for our safety.
Yes, these kind of gestures have also taken place in the past, because if we remember at the Delhi airport, such a gesture was meted out to CRPF personnel or the army men when they entered the airport. And remember, Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, he also made the same request to the people of this country that whenever we see an army man, we should stand and clap by seeing the man in uniform. So these kind of gestures are really encouraging for the army men. And the CRPF also, because CRPF in Kashmir especially, they operate under very serious conditions. It's very motivating for them.
Absolutely. And you know what's nice to see is that people from all walks of life, young to old, all of them standing up, some of them sitting in their place, turning around and clapping with a smile on their face, with such pride as well, Ankush, to thank these forces for their bravery, for their contribution, for serving the nation so selflessly. And really, this is something that the Prime Minister has spoken about in the past. He said that these are the kind of small gestures that we should do, referring to how in America as well, every single Marine who enters the airport gets this kind of a standing ovation, and it's great to see that that kind of a culture is spreading across the country as well. And this has happened in a place where our forces are so active, where they ensure that peace is restored every single day.
Yes, the Prime Minister also said the same thing, that we can make this small difference in the lives of the soldiers by showing these small gestures, because these are small factors, but they make huge differences, definitely.
That's right. And I think, Ankush, what we also largely have to talk about is the fact that we need to see this happen more. The fact that every single Jawan who enters this, any of public places should get that motivation, should get that kind of recognition that every Indian must give him for contributing to our nation, for laying down his life every single day, for putting his life at risk for all of our safety. So hopefully, really, this will start a chain of reactions of sorts. Hopefully, will ensure that every single place, at every public place, we recognize our Jawans when they are spotted there. But Ankush, I also understand that the CRPF has posted about this, thanking the people for this kind of support, thanking them for the warm welcome that the CRPF personnel got at the airport. Give us details about that.
Yes, the CRPF, these videos are going viral on the internet because CRPF itself posted it on Twitter, and ever since then the video has been going viral on the internet. And
all right, we seem to have lost a connection with Ankush. We'll get back to him in just a bit. But these are visuals that we're beaming to you really from the Jammu airport, where you see, of course, at the terminal building, the CRPF personnel entering one after another, and a thunderous applause greeting them. Let's listen into that entire sequence, and we'll discuss this in greater detail on the other side. So that is the sequence where you hear, of course, the standing ovation, the applause for our forces as soon as they enter the terminal building of the Jammu airport. All the passengers in smiles, recognizing, the contribution of these forces to our nation, recognizing that every single day they put their lives at risk to ensure our safety. And we have to keep in mind that this has happened at the Jammu airport, where our forces are so active across Jammu and Kashmir to ensure peace is restored every single day in the valley. So thunderous applause really there for CRPF Jawans as they enter the terminal building. You see all these Jawans also smiling, the personnel. Obviously, it will boost their morale to such a great extent to see the kind of respect that they are getting. And really, this has to become the norm in almost every public place in India, that these Jawans are recognized by Indians for their selfless service to the nation. This is something that is very, very heartwarming to see as the passengers smile, many of them standing up to show, of course, their respect, to show that they are proud of our forces. And this also puts across a message to all those who slam the army, all those who question our armed forces. This is a clear answer to them that our Indians, that all of us stand united to celebrate, to salute our forces. These are visuals from the terminal building at the Jammu airport, where the CRPF personnel, as soon as they entered, were welcomed by this applause. And you see little children there, you see senior citizens there, all of them standing together, all of them united, watching these forces as they enter and clapping for them in a gesture of thanks for this selfless service to the nation. And we have to keep in mind that this is something that the Prime Minister has spoken about in the past, saying that it is these kind of small gestures that can go on to make a huge difference in morale for our forces. I want to go across to Lieutenant General B.S. Jaswal, who's joining us on this broadcast. General Jaswal, good morning. These are very, very heartwarming visuals that we're beaming on this Monday morning. And there's no doubt about it. We need to see this happen more often, because this will hugely boost the morale of our forces. All right, we'll get back to Lieutenant General Jaswal in just a bit for his reaction. But really, this is something that has gone viral. This video has been posted by the CRPF on social media. They've thanked the people for their support. They've said very clearly that this is what really motivates us, and that is the idea. That is the message that we need to put out as Indians to our forces. Stand united and applaud our forces. These kind of small gestures is the least that each one of us can do. And this is at the Jammu airport, where you look in every corner, every Indian sitting there and applauding, many of them standing up and watching our forces as they go by. In fact, we're told that in this entire line of personnel, till the very last Jawan left, till the very last Jawan entered the aircraft, this applause continued. I want to go across to Major Gaurav Arya, for his reaction on this. Major Arya, I've been talking about this particular instance that's come to light, and there's no doubt about it. We need to see this happen more often, because this is a huge morale booster for our forces.
Yeah, especially the CRPF, which is taking the brunt of the things in the valley as far as the civilian population is concerned. And CRPF is a force that has done so much, perhaps does the most complex duties in the valley. I'm not talking about danger, I'm talking about complexity. The CRPF does amazingly complex work, and yes, when passengers get up, the staff gets up and applause, it is certainly a fact that the force can do it. And the morale is going to be extremely high.
Major Arya, this is so motivating to watch, and the CRPF themselves have come out to social media to thank people for, taking up such a lovely gesture. But do you feel that we also need to see this happen more often at every public place possibly? When we see a Jawan, the least every Indian can do unitedly is to stand up and applaud them for their efforts, and applaud them for, ensuring that they put their lives at risk every single day for our safety.
Every day or every week we see images of soldiers, sailors and airmen coming home in boxes. There are martyrs almost every second day in India. And these people lay down their lives defending this nation. The least the people can do is say thank you. It is a custom in the United States and many other countries, where you see a soldier and you walk up to him and say thank you for your service. So this is the hallmark of civilized nation. and we must do that. It's very important.
Absolutely. Major Arya, also, we have to keep in mind, and I remember this very, I really remember this, because the Prime Minister, almost, I think, a year ago had said that it's these kind of small gestures that make a huge difference for our forces. It really motivates them as well. And that's why I think every Indian must now learn a lesson from this, that they should ensure that whenever we see CRPF personnel, whenever we see an army Jawan out there at an airport, at any other public place, we must do the little we can to motivate them.
No, absolutely. What does a Jawan look for? He looks for izzat, he looks for honor, he looks for respect. And once you give him respect, then he has everything. So I think that's very important.
All right, Major Arya, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. So clearly, at this point, as I've been talking about, as we've been saying for the last many minutes, at the Jammu airport, this kind of a standing ovation for our CRPF Jawans definitely motivates them. And largely, of course, you've seen the kind of response from the CRPF as well on social media, where they've thanked the people, saying that this is, a huge morale booster. I want to go across to Brigadier Ponwar as well. Brigadier Ponwar, your reaction to the visuals of a beaming from the Jammu airport, where every single passenger who was present at the terminal building stood up and gave our Jawans a standing ovation till the very last Jawan there entered the aircraft.
Oh, this is about the most outstanding thing which has happened in the country, that we have started respecting the uniformed body who is guarding our borders, both external aggression as well as from internal side prevailing in the northeast, prevailing in Jammu and Kashmir especially, and here too where I'm calling from in Bastar. This is a recognition of the devotion to duty, and in time of requirement even laying down their lives. I was in the United States at Washington, and there too I was in uniform, and I found the local public giving tremendous respect to the uniform body, and I'm so happy that it's got going in our country, and it happened in all the places in Jammu, especially Srinagar, in Mumbai, in Pune, and all places give due respect to people for keeping the nation together.
Brigadier Ponwar, shouldn't this become a norm? Shouldn't
Hello. Hello. Yes.
The Sena chief has slammed the BJP government, claiming that the people have lost confidence in the BJP and dared the Fadnavis government to resign.
He had said that we are with the government if the government is doing anything for the people, but then we may walk out if the government is going against the people.
All right, these are visuals that we're beaming to you from the Jammu airport, where on the 8th of October, just a day ago, the CRPF personnel entered the terminal building to a standing ovation, to a thunderous applause from every single passenger who was present there. Many of them, of course, were standing up, were waving at the CRPF personnel who were present there. We were talking to Brigadier Ponwar just before this, where he, hailed this particular move by the passengers at the airport. Brigadier Ponwar, once again, if I can come to you, I was making a point earlier about how this needs to become the norm as far as these kind of gestures are concerned. These are small gestures that all of us can do. These are small gestures that hugely motivates our forces, and really we need to make this a norm to ensure that every single time an army Jawan is seen anywhere, we stand united in saluting them with this kind of a gesture. All right, with that, here's a quick look at some other stories that we're tracking from across the nation.